All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at the Input, Output, and Emergo section of Token 2049 here in Singapore. I'm very happy to be joined by Eran and Mauricio from the Midnight team. We're going to talk you through what we've learned from Token 2049 so far. We're going to talk you through the Midnight roadmap, where we are in our journey, and a couple of exciting announcements. So, to get us kicked off, gentlemen, do you want to introduce yourselves to the audience and to all of those watching from outside? Eran, do you want to go first?
Sure. My name is Eran Barak. I lead the Midnight Initiative here with my colleagues.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's such a pleasure. I'm Mauricio, I head product and DevRel for Midnight, and we're going to talk a lot about that today. So thank you.
All right, excited to dive in. So thank you, gents. I want to start with your takeaways from 2049 so far. So we're a day and a half into the show. We've seen keynotes, we've had Charles on stage, we've had a very large number of conversations, side events, night events, midnight events, and all sorts of other things beside. Eran, let's start with you. What have been some of your kind of key takeaways from Token 2049 so far?
So first, I should say it's been an unbelievable conference. So many innovation ideas and new things. Just fantastic to be here, and I can't count how many side events are all overlapping, and we're trying to kind of hit them all. But I think the pinnacle for me so far has been Charles' presentation, where he talked about the fourth generation of blockchains, how we could finally bring this technology, this innovation into the market and enable people to do amazing things with this technology. The fact that we've gone from the first generation of Bitcoin to the second generation of Ethereum and programmability to the third generation of Cardano, Solana, and others providing scalability, governance, and now fourth generation with Midnight, with data protection, price predictability, SLA, all these things will now unlock a new future. And not just doing that as another island. One of the bigger challenges that we see today is that everybody's locked into all these camps. Midnight and fourth generation blockchains will finally enable all the ecosystems, different parties and different players to all work together, creating more interoperability and innovation for all of us and making customers win. So I'm really excited about these.
Fantastic summary, thank you, Eran, and couldn't agree more. I think now it feels like real progress in Web3. It feels like those teams that are out here building are getting closer to what you would call widespread adoption, or actually
Absolutely.
Real use at scale, which is, I think, really powerful.
Absolutely.
Mauricio, I'm going to pass it over to you. You've been on the booth a fair amount too. We've been out here, we've been having, I don't know how many conversations. Shout out to everybody who's come to the booth, who's come to say hi to us, who's picked up some Midnight t-shirts and swag, who's talked to the Lace team who are here as well, and other colleagues from IOG. Mauricio, talk us through maybe some of the conversations or the quality of the conversations you've had here at 2049 so far.
Yeah, I think Charles's speech was a trigger for quite a lot of the interest.
Trigger in a good way, right?
Yeah, for us to have genuine interest in the technology. The types of questions we were fielding were about the programming model, how does it work, how the glacier drop is going to be, what are the validators of Midnight, how did they look like, how they match up or are tied to Cardano. So they were very, I think, deep questions for such an event. So I think people are very excited about the potential of the fourth generation, and as Charles I think said, it was the final generation of blockchains. And I think that's a lot of excitement about what's coming for us as well in terms of what we're doing with Midnight. So we were very fortunate to also throw a side event with 2 sessions on a technical workshop. Even better questions when they look under the hood and look what the system looks like and how it works. So I think all in all, very positive for us in terms of the interest and also the quality of the people that are interested in what we're building.
100%. And shout out to all of the developers and technical teams who joined us for the workshop this morning. It's not easy to get around Singapore right now with all the F1 infrastructure around, so Thank you everybody who made the effort. Thanks to everybody who was there. And I think the more questions, the more feedback we can get, the better, right? Midnight is moving incredibly fast. We want to get into market faster. We want people to test and develop on the technology, and the more feedback we get, the better. So whether that's from the developers in the sessions, through the hackathons that we host, or through people coming and asking us questions at the booth, this is all really positive and all really additive. And I want to kind of add to that as well. The conversations I've had with people who are building on other projects, on other chains, it hasn't been a case of, oh, that's interesting technology, guys. Thanks for doing that. That's really cool. That's it. I get it. Whether it's a fourth generation point or people finally realizing that data protection in Web3 and blockchains that can keep secrets, that can shield sensitive information, this is what's been needed, and people have shied away because we haven't had it until now. They're logically now saying, well, that's great. How do I get that from my chain? Or how do I get that from my project? Let's talk, let's try and make something happen in the next few weeks. It's not about, oh, nice project, move on, go learn something else. We're not at the stage of learning anymore. We're at the stage of enhancing what's already been built. And I think that's hugely exciting. Speaking about what's already been built, Eran, we've had a couple of big announcements this week, not least of which the launch of Midnight's Night Paper, a light paper that's focused on the high-level points, architecture, tokenomics of Midnight. Talk the audience a little bit through the launch of the Night Paper, what's in there, and what have been some of the reactions you've heard from others about the Night Paper coming out?
So, as Anthony, you do know, we've been somewhat stealth for a while, although we did open the Devnet last year and got an overwhelming amount of response with thousands of players coming in to try out Midnight. But we are finally sharing more details about what we're doing with the Night Paper. It is available right now online on midnight.network and has more depth about the design and the thinking of how a fourth generation blockchain really is kind of made up to be. What it unlocks and what are the potential use cases that it can bring together.
Absolutely. So if you haven't heard that or if you didn't check it out, midnight.network/white paper. That's where the current Night Paper is. You can download it. We're hoping to have it translated into other languages as well as English in the future. So if you're interested to learn more about Midnight, interested to learn more about the technology at a high level, at a level that technical and non-technical folk can read equally, that's a good place to go. We've also got docs.midnight.network if you want to go deeper. That's where all the technical content is for developers, architecture. It links to the repositories, links to the Discord so you can meet our DevRel team. Lots to consume there. Mauricio, over to you. I'd like to talk a little bit about the roadmap now.
Okay.
We've had Devnet running for a while now. We had an overwhelming interest in the Devnet at the very beginning. We kept it closed at the start. We had over 2,000 applications from teams wanting to build on the Devnet. They've been let loose on Midnight, giving us feedback, helping us to improve features over the last little while. And now we're very, very close to a testnet. Tell us about that and tell us about what's coming afterwards.
So I think it's a big milestone for us because it puts us quite a lot closer to mainnet, which is where we all want to be. And personally, it's when we start to pursue product market fit for Midnight. So very excited. I think what's coming now on testnet is we allow Midnight to be upgradable, which means that between now and mainnet, we're going to be able to add a lot of the features that we want. Specifically, I'm very interested in our tokenomics, so this is core to us, very important going forward. And it will allow us to also field more of the feedback and respond to the feedback much more quickly, given where we are with the features. So this is exciting. It also gives us a more stable field for all the hackathons that we're doing, because we're doing a lot of hackathons this year. I think the last count was over 30 hackathons we're doing. So if you haven't signed up for any of that, please do. It's amazing. The team is super excited. And I think going forward, again, I think the tokenomics is an important feature. We will have an incentivized testnet going forward in the ramp up, and we're going to launch Glacier Drop. So I think these are all major milestones for us as we progress, and hopefully that will not only increase the interest in what we're building, but also increase the interest of people on what people are building on Midnight, which is where we want to be, right? We want to have the builders building, of course, but the users of those builders are even maybe more important. So we're excited to see all that happen, and we're going to push very hard to make it happen in a reasonable amount of time.
There's a lot going on, there's a lot to deliver, but So for those people, to summarize, testnet launching 1st of October. That's going to be available for anybody to go in, build, develop your applications, and gather feedback from the community, from our developer relations teams. After that, there's going to be an incentivized testnet where we're going to look at onboarding more block producers to support an incentivized block production on Midnight. And after that, mainnet in the new year, 2025. So very, very excited for that. And Charles did mention yesterday that obviously between a testnet and a mainnet, there needs to be a token generation event. I know we can't say much now, and we don't want to say much now, but for those who missed Charles's presentation yesterday, Eran, I'm going to give you the arduous task of giving the community as much as we're allowed to give them at this point, and maybe letting them know what's coming next for when they can actually find out all the details.
Well, Anthony, if you look under your seat in an Oprah kind of way, that's a token for you. Now, to be more serious, as I said, Midnight is all about working with other chains. And that means that we're going to enable people who are in not just in Cardano, in many other chains, be able to use Midnight as a layer 2, not just as a layer 1, interoperate, and not even leave their ecosystem to participate. In order to accomplish that, we are going to invite people from multiple other blockchains to participate in our token distribution, which is planned very shortly. And we will allow people across 6 different chains to come and claim Night tokens and be able to access the utility of Midnight. So stay tuned. Details about all of this is planned to be coming out next month, and we'll be sharing more information about who gets to participate, how many tokens, and what's happening. Coming to you soon. If that wasn't a teaser enough, I don't know what is.
All right, that's plenty to work with. And again, we want to share as much as we possibly can at the right time. We're not there today, but it will be soon. So please make sure you're following Midnight on Twitter, or you're in the Discord channel, or you're on our Telegram channel. Information goes through all of those. So whichever you prefer, your preferred channel, please do go check those things out. There will be a token generating event. To summarize, we are looking at a fair distribution. There will be multiple ecosystems that we're supporting or that will be eligible. More to follow. The point here is that Midnight is here to support the growth and expansion of existing dApp ecosystems, those projects, those communities where there are significant dApps being built, significant usage, but where the addition of privacy or programmable privacy and shielding of sensitive data using Midnight can help accelerate those ecosystems, to help those projects to grow. That's what we're here for, and we want to help people realize that we're here for Cardano, we're a partner chain of Cardano, and we want to expand out to support as much of Web3 as we can.
I'll add one more thing. A lot of people think about, tokens as some sort of a game or a play where the investors or the insiders get the inside track. That's not going to be the case here. Midnight is all about the community. Our token distribution will include 100% of the supply will be given out to the community and have an opportunity for them to come and participate. So we look forward to seeing the community step up and take part and become part of the story.
Very exciting indeed. So on that bombshell, we're going to end this session. Hopefully exciting, hopefully interesting for those listening in. Again, if you want to find us, all the details around Midnight, the white paper, the night paper, and more details on our documentation at midnight.network. Make sure to follow us at Midnight Network on Twitter and X, and come check us out on Telegram and join the Discord if you want to engage with the community and our developers. Thank you, Eran. Thank you, Mauricio, for joining us. Thank you for the hard work over the last 2 days, and thank you for everybody who's been here to join us at the booth, asking questions, meeting the IOG, the Lace team, the Emergo team, and everybody here. And everybody who took a shielded selfie with the Midnight Shield. Appreciate you too, coming on social media as soon as we can get it out there. Thanks, everybody.